Hey YouTube, this is Troy. It's been a while. Give you a little update. Finally got water in the tank. I got sand. I decided to go with, I'm guessing it's anywhere between 2 inches to 1.5 inches of a sand bed there. Water's been in for probably about 3 or 4 days. Still got that film from the sand kind of on the glass and on the overflow and whatnot, but it's in there. Got the MP40s, and then the other. Basically what I ended up doing, since it was kind of crowded inside the tank, I just kind of mounted, this is the master controller, the other one's the slave on the other side. Just kind of mounted it on the side. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, painted the canopy finally. Haven't painted the inside yet. I'm going to paint it with something. You know, if you guys have a recommendation on how I should treat the inside of this canopy, I would appreciate it. I'm going to order the Radion, the LED fixtures probably sometime next week. But I decided I'm going to leave the top open. And I created these little brackets on the side, and I ordered these rails. They're aluminum, and let's see if I can get a shot of it. Basically they have an area here where just a groove where the screw can slide into from the top of the Radion fixtures. There's mounting screws, and you can just slide them in this groove, and then I can slide the fixture up and down these rails. So I'll have one on this side, one on the other side here, and I basically can slide them up and down. So I decided to go with that instead of I'll paint this black, this little, and then I'll probably end up just nailing it in here, so because right now it's just loose. But that's what I decided to do. If you're interested, the rails were, I guess, what I consider somewhat affordable. I got 2 of them. They'll custom cut them to the length, and I think the 2, I don't know if they were, I think they were $12 a piece. So I can send you the website if you're interested. But yeah, if you guys have, I don't know, I was thinking of just priming the inside just to kind of give it seal it up. But if you guys have any suggestions on what you would use to basically treat the wood inside the canopy, that would be awesome. Overflow's running. Basically, I don't know how well that picks up, but I got one. It splits into a Y. I got one shooting. Great camera work. I got one shooting out in the back, and I got one kind of shooting right at me. But so canopy. Let's see. There's the front. It's on its side. Basically, snaps on the front there. Oh, I played around with some acrylic. So went out to the local hardware store, bought some 1/4-inch acrylic, got some Weld-On 4, cut the acrylic, and kind of made my own storage for my overflow, or my auto top off, sorry, overflow. My auto top off, you can see the little pump in there. And basically the center chamber there, I made the center chamber, and then it's got 2 side chambers that are empty. The 2 side chambers, one right there and one right there, they'll eventually hold 2-part. I think the volume of the smaller side chambers is like, I don't know, 1.5 gallons, a little over 1.5 gallons. And the center chamber will hold 10 gallons. So test it all out, make sure it didn't leak. Just kind of manufactured a cheese ball lid that kind of slides on and off. But I think with all the acrylic, that was maybe $80. The glue's cheap, but it does, you know, acrylic, you know, there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to glue acrylic. You know, my first project, it definitely wasn't all that pretty, but you know, after you do it once, you know, you'll definitely do a better job second time around. But it works, doesn't leak. It's kind of built to my specifications. It's Eventually I'll probably have a cabinet right here that I'll house that in, but for now, at least it's not, well, I guess the wife hasn't commented on it, so until she does, I guess I'm okay. There's the slave controller on the other Ecotech, or Vortec controller there, or the pump, sorry. So, sump's pretty much as I left it from my last video. No leaks, yay. Returns coming in. I was running a filter sock. I'm probably not going to run filter socks. I'm just going to go ahead and have a lot of current in this first stage, so nothing will hopefully collect at the bottom. It'll all enter into the refugium. Right now I just got that. I just got some leftover rock, and I threw a chunk of I don't know if it's Chaeto or Cato. I'd love your guys' opinion on the pronunciation. I've heard it both ways, but anyways, Chaetomorpha. This is just from my 30. I just kind of ripped it out and threw a chunk in there. It probably isn't. I'm almost absolutely certain it's not doing anything right now. Hopefully, it may even die off because, like I said, there really isn't that much for nutrients as far as phosphates or nitrates to keep the thing alive. But I don't know if the light alone will let it grow or what, but we'll see. Anyways, skimmer. Eventually I'll fire the skimmer up. It probably will wait till the tank will cycle. I do have it at the height, so I raised it up a little bit. Right now there isn't enough load or bio load or anything in the tank to really have the skim even. You know, I ran it for a bit. They basically say with this skimmer, run it for 24 hours to let it break in. There's really nothing in the tank to actually let it slime over to a point where it'll actually break in and not just completely wet skim like no one's business. So I'm just gonna let it sit there, occupy space in the first chamber until the tank basically cycles. I don't really have anything in this chamber right now. There's a little chamber in there for media if you like, but basically what I have over here is Eheim, the big one in the back, Eheim 1262. Basically going to a check valve, kind of going up, bunch of unions, back up in the tank. This is basically how I do my water changes right here. Worked great for filling the tank. Played with the leftover acrylic, kind of made a little hood right here for my refugium. Got my little LED light sitting on top of there, a little cheese ball fixture. Other than that, I have an Eheim 1000 that's just running circulation in that. You can see the film. I don't know how well it comes up on the camera, but the film from the sand, it's kind of all over the place. And then I got a little Eheim 600 that is basically pumping water into my my reactors. Right now I'm just running carbon, basically. That's it. Carbon, back in. Spewing out right here. Really won't be able to tell if that 600 is going to cut it until I get the GFO in there, make sure it tumbles appropriately. If it tumbles good, then great. I'll stick with that. If not, I got the 1000 right there that I can use. I actually have a couple of those, but I'm only using one. I'm planning on putting another one inside this first stage once I get everything fired up. But other than that, back in the back there, you can see the Tunze auto top off. Thing works awesome. Simplest thing, super wicked. You can, hopefully it comes up all right. But the let's see if I can get in here. Basically, the sensor on the left for the autofill, and then the float valve on the right. Basically, just ensures that it's like an auto shut off for the auto top off, so if it reaches that height, it'll automatically shut the thing off. But that's pretty much the setup at the moment. I got my temperature probe in. I don't have the pH probe yet. I have the pH probe, I just don't have it in the tank yet. Other than that, everything's hooked up to the controller. It's all operating. off the controller. The controller is powering the heater. Everything's working okay so far. So far, so good. Like I said, about 4 days into the actually getting the water and the sand into it. So, I got a little family reunion, so I'm probably not going to do much. I got a family reunion a couple weekends from now, so I'm not going to do much for anything with this particular tank. I'm just going to let it run. I am going to probably use some nitrifying, I think that's what they call it, nitrifying bacteria. I'll let you know what type I'm going to use to kind of basically overnight cycle the tank. I've watched a couple YouTube videos, did some research. It's basically you dump the stuff into your tank, throw a fish in, and the cycle from ammonia to nitrates. The nitrates is a day or two, and the ammonia and nitrate levels don't reach any significant number to the point where it would harm the fish that you're going to use, or the fish that you're going to have in there, just to kind of bring some bio load into the tank. So, alright, I've been chatting forever, so that's that. I'll probably do another update when I get the lights, and I'll definitely do another update when I get to the point where I'm going to cycle the tank. Alright, later.